Welcome, Division Agents. Today, we're going to attempt Stolen Signal Flawless. Now, Stolen Signal is a very unique incursion. It's one that you actually have to practice in order to get good at. All the other incursions in the game, you really don't need to, you can just wing it. But when you're going for Flawless, you really need a plan, especially for each room in Stolen Signal. And I will be showing you all the tactics that we used in this video. In the first part, you just want to run through everything. It's okay to take out a DPS build. You're just trying to get to the main building. Now remember, when doing a flawless run, gear sets are everything. If you don't have the right gear, you're better off not doing it at all. And you need a team with the right gear as well. I recommend 3 gear sets for this entire incursion. 1, a good strong Firecrest build. Somewhere around 8,000 electronics with a bunch of toughness. You don't need a ton of firearms. Firecrest Reclaimer, Firecrest Tactician, do whatever you want. The next, a D3 build. I think it's vital to have one D3 guy at least for 2 rooms, and you'll clearly see why later on. Last but not least, the most important, Final Measure. Final Measure Classified is everything you need to actually do this incursion. I think 3 of these guys are in Final Measure almost like 90% of the time. You don't really have to switch. But remember, you have to start speccing in Final Measure in toughness and in electronics. You don't need firearms. And there's a big reason for that, because if you're carrying classified, you get buffs automatically from the grenaders. So you can clearly kill these rooms fast enough just with the right gun. I highly recommend assault rifles, LMGs to keep the distance. SMGs work fine too. But you don't want to get too close, because then you're jeopardizing your flawless run. Now, there are 2 talents in every single Flawless Incursion or Legendary you're going to want to run, and it's no different for Stolen Signal. Destructive is incredibly important. Why? Because 95% of the NPC base are purples, with elites being around the 5% to 10% mark. The bosses will need Ferocious. Destructive and Ferocious will get the job done quicker. If you don't have guns that have Destructive and Ferocious, you're kind of wasting the team's time. Everyone should be running with at least one of those talents 100% of the time. To get it done fast and to melt these guys quick, you need those talents. The last key component when it comes to guns is what almost everyone in your team should be carrying. At least 3 people who will constantly be hitting the boss. You need a good sniper rifle or a sniper rifle variant. I highly recommend a Scar H, maybe an SVD, an M1A. It doesn't really matter, even an M44. Whatever you choose, make sure they have the proper talents on the bottom of them. Either you want destructive or ferocious. The last thing you could use is an MDR. MDRs work specifically great because they're pinpoint accurate and they don't have a lot of recoil. The one sniper rifle you don't want to use is an M700, and here's the reason why. You are never ever elevated in this entire incursion. The bottom talent would be an utter waste. Don't use an M700, and make sure to use any of the recommended sniper rifles that are in the game. So after you cleared the waves of enemies in front of the building, and now you're officially inside, we veer off to the right side, which is called the Newsroom. I highly recommend getting the Newsroom done first, because more deaths happen here. The Newsroom is pretty self-explanatory. Before you even enter, though, you're going to have these turrets in front of you. All in all, you want to get 3 ballistic shields, protect the carrier at all times, make sure that he's not flanked by the turrets, and pop overdoses for him. Pretty straightforward. Another thing to keep in mind is to always make sure that you have the proper talents equipped, especially if you're working with a ballistic shield. Triage, Combat Medic, and Critical Save are almost a must in Stolen Signal. Why? Because there'll be some close calls, and there'll be some close calls with your shield. Every time you pop that medkit, you will recharge your shield as well as the players around you. Those 3 talents are a must. The 4th talent is totally up to you. Strike back, on the move. You can use either or. I prefer on the move with my D3 shield. That's what you're seeing right now. Now this is where the tactics begin. All 4 of us go to the right side of the room where these couches are, and we get down and get ready for the onslaught that is about to happen. One person runs smart cover. That person is running around 5,000 electronics. There's also 2 people in this room running final measures. There will be grenadiers. There are 2 people running fire turrets in this room, which is a very big help because it pushes back the elites and the purple NPCs from flanking you on the left and the right. So while they're burning, you can take shots at them. I can't stress this enough. You need 2 fire turrets in this room. When the boss comes out, the person on the right of us that also has the fire turret will put the turret on top where Checkers is. This helps the team tremendously because Checkers, along with the NPCs around her that are on fire, cannot shoot on that side in that specific amount of time. Therefore, you now have free shots on the boss and you are maintaining the NPC control within the room. Notice how none of us have a pulse. A pulse is actually useless in Stolen Signal Flawless. Here's why. It's not about killing the boss or the NPCs the fastest. It's about surviving the waves that come out. Survivability is your main issue. With smart cover at your side and 2 turrets, you can eliminate anything that is a threat instantly. Another thing that a lot of players don't understand is that every time that Checkers moves from left to right, she will spawn new waves of enemies. A lot of players don't get this, so they continually just try to kill her as fast as possible. Meanwhile, she's bouncing back and forth so fast that new waves are spawning, and that's why you die. Remember, Stolen Signal is not about killing everything as fast as possible. It's about pacing yourself, finding the rhythm of the NPCs and the boss, and staying through that rhythm so you can actually kill everything without almost dying or even being at half health. Doing this will actually benefit you as well as the group. Every single tactic that I'm explaining to you actually works on Heroic. You can do this on Heroic, every single tactic, and you never need 1 pulse. You hardly even need a tactical link. You can run a tactical link just so if you see the boss and she's about to switch, or if he's really at low health, that's fine. Pop it, kill the boss. But those 2 things are not necessary. Now, talking about the method of the room and how we approach it. We already have smart cover. We already have boxes. We already have fire turrets. But how are we dealing with the enemies in the waves? This is how. Me and Buck were on the left of the couch. Me, I'm on ad control. That's my main job. LMG, ads. Sometimes I go up and I shoot the boss when I can. But that's not my main priority. The other 3, that's their priority. As long as you have 3 guys shooting at the boss the entire time as much as possible, you're going to kill the boss rather quickly. Buck, on the other hand, is going from the ads to the sniper, and so are the other 2 on the right of us. That's it. When the rusher comes out, anyone can call it. We all have to focus on the rusher as much as possible, primarily me and Buck since we're going to be the closest one to him. The other 2 on the right are just plugging away, killing the boss, ads, boss, ads. It's very simple. Don't overcomplicate this room. Overcomplicating it leads to failure. Everyone has a part, everyone has a role to play.
Now on to one of my other favorite rooms. This is called the Star Break Room. I guess because there's a stage in the middle? I don't know. Whatever. This room is pretty easy to do. Just kill the rest of the ads, and then you enter the Star Break Room. Now, a lot of players, they don't understand this room and how it works. Many players try to kill the boss as fast as possible. Of course, they got the heavy to deal with, and also the endless amount of grenades you're going to get. And don't even get me started on the heroic grenades, because on heroic, there's even more grenades. On challenging, the grenades are fine, and you don't really have to worry about it if you have the right gear. We did this same method on heroic, and we didn't even get to half health. It was flawless. It's very simple. Don't overcomplicate this room. Now for gear. Gear is incredibly important. If you don't have the right gear, you might as well just not even attempt this room. We ran, I believe, with at least 2 final measures. Remember, this is challenging. On heroic, I highly recommend 3 final measures. Classified works best. One guy pops the mobile cover down. You must have, every single person in this room must have around 5,000 electronics, and there's a reason for this. One person pops the mobile cover down, the other person uses smart cover, both being final measures. 2 best snipers go right in the front with the mobile cover, one guy with D3, and the other final measure is right behind me on the carpet right next to the chair. We are all on the carpet. We are not on the water. I, for one, am using D3. D3 is very important in this room for a multitude of reasons. 1, I'm on ad control. 2, I'm taking much of the brunt of the damage that the ads give me. They're always focused on me since I have increased threat. I take care of the ads, I try to get the sniper on the right. The other 3 that are behind the mobile cover and the chairs are shooting at the ads and the sniper. That's all they go to. When the heavy comes out, we all focus on him as much as possible. Sometimes only 2 people only have to focus on the heavy. My specific role is to actually kill the heavy as fast as possible with the ads. That is it. And the other 3 guys, they're on sniping detail. That's all that this room is. Hunker down, wait, use that smart cover, and kill the ads within the rhythm of the actual level. You don't need to go past that. This is very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Just sit, wait, take shots at the boss, kill the ads, and you'll be done with this mission. Remember, shooting curveball at a record high speed also brings out the heavy at an even faster speed. His timer gets less and less as the time of the mission progresses. Curveball's armor is a reflection of that. When Curveball gets to health, the heavy comes out faster. So pacing yourself in this room is all you really need to do. Pace yourself, go within the rhythm of the actual level, and you will beat it flawlessly. Now going on to the third room of the incursion. This room is called Studio 3. However, before you get to Studio 3, you will notice a ton of enemy waves coming at you, an almost infinite amount of shotgunners, and about 4 LMG elites. This is all about testing your DPS. However, it shouldn't be that hard. As long as you got fire turrets, that's basically all you really need, just to push them back and to take your shots. For the next room, a lot of players get carried away just running DPS and strafing the entire time. That's not how our team is designed. On Flawless, you want to work on survivability and putting yourself at a tactical advantage in this room. There will be endless waves of enemies while you're trying to kill the boss. Our team is specifically designed with Firecrest in mind. Turrets. You can also run Final Measure. It really doesn't matter what you run, except if you can actually have a turret that does damage. 5,000 electronics, I think, is perfectly fine. Don't get carried away. Stick close to the group and place your turrets at tactical advantages. One person should be running D3 in order to subdue threats quickly, going after the LMGs and the shotgunners, and also to pop overdoses on the floor within the main hall. And you're going to see that as the video progresses.
We need to shut this down, Agent. Get our people out of there.
There's not much to say about this whole level. It's pretty straightforward. Remember, survivability. Don't get cocky and try to face tank enemies. It doesn't really work, because then you can be flanked. And if you go out by yourself, anything can happen that the group is not aware of, and they may not be there to help you out. The 3 other players, except the D3 guy, has snipers, so they're always working on pig stick while trying to neutralize the threat from the shotgunners, assault guys, and the LMG. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Now on to the granddaddy of them all, the last room, where you get the last 3 hostages and you finish the game. Have your group take a deep breath at this moment. You're about to encounter the stuff that will either make you or break you. Any critical error will end in disaster, and it's key that you're all set up and ready to do this. For this room, we have 3 guys that are running high electronics. Even though 3 guys are running high electronics, they are not sacrificing their toughness. They need enough toughness in order to survive. Don't be squishy. There's 1 guy that is purely all firearms. With that in mind, he will be able to take out most of all the ads relatively quickly. We did this to balance out what we wanted to do at the very end, which is facing the bosses and finishing the level. And you're going to see that as we continue. So get a high enough electronics for the shield guys. Make sure that you're all in your positions when you have to be. There's no room for dilly-dallying here. Everyone needs to get their respective hostage. The people that are carrying the shields need to know what hostage they go to all the time when it is marked. Also, the switches. The firearms guy, along with anybody else who's free to hit the switches, has to be ready to set up on the left, the right, and the middle to activate the pyrotechnic switches. After that is done, everyone bolts into the gunsmith shop, gets ready for the wave, and you take these guys on here. It's okay if you kill the boss immediately. That's why you have the DPS guy. His job is to clear out all the rest of the remaining ads while the 3 shield guys set up, post up to the hostage, or go to the pyrotechnic switch. Those are the roles that you play. Now, an easy method to do is, before you do this room, make sure that every person knows how to protect the hostage well. I highly advise practicing protecting the hostages so you understand how to do it in case you have to do it on flawless.
That guy's still here, all right. Gonna have to find a way to flush him out of there. Damn it, this team is crucial.
The one thing that gets players a lot in this room, even on heroic, especially flawless, is that they're not up on the NPCs. They're not up on the spawns. Speed and efficiency is really your only asset in this room. It's not so much damage. Now take this for example. Buck is being shot at, and this is the 3rd round. He knows that I'm going to go to the pyrotechnic switch when I am done with my hostage and clearing him. All of a sudden, I'm going to meet Buck down there. The guy hitting the pyrotechnic switch we're protecting, and this is how it's played. Now, their shotgunners shooting at us, but that's okay, because we're going to turn around and then engage them. If we waited any sooner, we would have had to actually eliminate the shotgunners and the remaining NPCs in order to hit the switch. And getting that stuff done before would have been easier than after. Now on to the last boss. Bobcat is now out. Everyone on our team, we actually had a tactic to where we don't engage Bobcat, but we slowly melt him and cook him with fire turrets. This was our tactic because after trial and error, no matter what we did, one of us would go down from Bobcat because he would pop an ult and we would all die. We tried everything in the room before, and it never ever worked. We tried fire turrets in the room. We tried fire turrets outside of the room. We tried fire turrets everywhere. None of that works. We tried popping tack link on him. We tried everything, and we always got melted by him when his armor would get to half health. So this was the best tactic that we came up with, and it's actually a tactic anyone can use. Many people don't know about this tactic. It's a slow one, but it does work. As you can see, I'm getting my fire turret out, and I want to place it in a tactical advantage. It's very important to have Bobcat slowly walk into my fire turret that's around 8,000 electronics and let his armor melt. There's no need to face tank Bobcat. He is a ticking time bomb. That's the way you must deal with him. And like a ticking time bomb, stand away and take your shots at him. There's plenty of time. Remember, survivability is key. There, as you can see, Bobcat ran right into my turret and is being even damaged more by my turret. It is a very strong turret, and the turrets are a really key, significant part of this because now we know that he is not popped alt. We know that his numbers are going and they're slowly melting him. We can see the damage numbers. So now I tell the rest of my group, hey, Bobcat can be damaged, he didn't pop alt yet. Always remember that from afar you can damage Bobcat. You don't have to get close. The DPS of our group is doing very good damage to him from afar. He's running around and planning his shots. It is a cat and mouse game. Treat it like that. And there you go. Bobcat the Great is now dead. This method, I think, will work for the majority of players on the Division who are truly trying to get flawless. I didn't do this for heroic. I didn't do this for normal challenging. I basically did it for the flawless runners who have this to actually conquer, and then they get their badges and all their commendations. This method does work. You have to keep in mind, though, it's about survivability. It's not just about damage. Weaken Bobcat and get him down to a health pool that is manageable to then shoot. All of us were very happy here. We were screaming with joy because I've been on this for about 4 days trying to find a tactic that would work 100% of the time if you followed it perfectly. Other groups I've been with, we've tried everything from electric grenades to flame grenades, incendiary bullets, you name it, the whole shebang, popping crit, popping blue, trying to get them on top of the roof. We tried everything, and this method works flawlessly. In fact, you can make a mistake here. It's okay to actually go to half health and be shot by Bobcat once while you're running away. It actually does work still. So as long as you stay away from him, everything should be fine. And this method was the method we came up with. So let me know, guys, if this method works for you. Let me know if you complete flawless. Let me know if it actually makes it easier. I would love to hear your feedback. I will be posting new videos all the time, so make sure to stay a while and subscribe. Peace out, guys.